Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Hare Ba, Hare Ba, Hare Ba, Gaur Hare Ba. Gaur Hare Ba, Hare Ba, Hare Ba, Gaur Hare Ba. Nitai Gaur Hare Ba, Hare Ba, Hare Ba, Hare Ba. Go, Premanandi. Jayam Mr. Pad Paramahansa Prabhujakacharya Asaturasata Shishimad. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananda Kodavaishrani ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Iskcon founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopiya Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavadam ki jai. Shri Maya Parnavadam ki jai. Ganga Maya ki jai, Jamuna Maya ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhakti ki jai, Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai, the transcendental, glorious, wonderful appearance day of Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki. All glorious Sama devotees, all glorious Sama devotees, all glorious Sama devotees, all glorious Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
So I hope if I talk quietly, it'll be okay.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Shri Nityananda Trayodasi ki jai. Maestro. PP, PPD, PPDP, PPDP, right? Pratip Pavan Das Prabhu, PPDP. Chaitanya Charitamrita? Virbe Starayo. Maybe he has a, maybe he's bought, what do you call it? Bought Audi. Huh, not robot. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. What's happening here? Database.io. Okay. You got it? Okay. Adi Lila. Okay. Chapter 1. Okay. And advanced view. My God. Oh, no. Chapter 1, you got it open, right? Yeah. Okay, then you want to go from default view to advanced view, right? Okay. Then you want to dump the Bengali. You want to dump the synonyms. You want to dump the purport. You want to dump the chapter description. So all we have is the text and the translations, right? Yeah. Okay. And then you want to go to text number 7. The first one's describe, I think, the spiritual master and Lord Chaitanya. And then after that, in 6 verses, I think 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is here, he describes Lord, no, that's not it. 7? Yeah, 7, right? Yeah, 7. Okay. Sankarshana karanatoya shai garbo dashai chapayov dishai. Sheshashchayasyang sakalasa nitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamastu. One more time. Shankar Shanakaranatoya Shai Garbo Dashai Chapayov Dishai. Sheshashchayasyang sakala sanitya nandakya rama sharanam mamastam. Somebody can read the translation. Don't be shy.
May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Sheshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karuna ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions.
Wow. So we have Anksa, means portion, no? Yeah. And Kala, yeah. ete chamsa sa, ete chanksa sakala pumsam. Portions of portions. So the author is obviously a very educated Brahmin. He knows Sanskrit pretty well, this guy. Okay. So he starts everything off, and the first verses he glorifies gurus, Vande Gurun, Isha Bhaktan, Ishi Savatarakan. Yeah. And this is the Godhead. God is one. Okay? Right? God is one? Okay. But there's different aspects. And the supreme personality of Godhead is Krishna, or Lord Chaitanya. So he's glorifying Guru, supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, and now Nityananda. And he wants him to be the object of his, Nandaki Rama Sharanam Namastu. Somewhere in there is Smarnam, my constant remembrance. Okay, so we can go over these again. Okay, number 8. You got it? I'll just roll it down a little bit there. Maya tite vyapi vayakunta loke purnaishvarye shichaturvuya madhye. Vakunta loke purnaishvarye shri chaturvyuha madhye rupam yashodbhati sankarsanakyam tam shri Nityananda raman prapadye yashodbhati sankarsanakyam tam shri Nityananda raman prapadye Tam Shri Nityananda Raman Prapadye Tam Shri Nityananda Raman Prapadye Nityananda Raman Prapadye. Translation.
I surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, who is known as Sankarshan in the midst of the Chaturvya, consisting of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradumya, and Anuradha. He possesses full opulences and resides in Vaikuntha Loka, far beyond the material creation.
So he's reiterating, because before he introduced, Sankarshan, Shesha, and someone else like that. He introduced them before, so now he's going into some more detail here. Yeah, and this is pretty, pretty, what's the word? There's a word there, yeah. No. Bold. He's a little more than bold, right? He's an English major. He'll get the word for us. pretty bold declaration, It's like walking in. It's like someone coming along and saying, "Well, actually, Donald Trump is actually the Jehovah." And it's like, hey, yeah, really? Yeah. No, because imagine what it is. This is some time right after Christopher Columbus has discovered America. And people are, it's a pretty simple world. There's no internet or anything else, and people don't know a lot about different cultures. And how much do people even know about all of the different philosophical schools in India at this time? If you're in Bengal, how long does it take to get to this Cape Comorin? Fastest transportation, the pony relay or something. So it's a pretty strange situation. But there are sannyasis traveling all over the place. This is very common. Very common. Somebody told me that when Prabhupada was in sannyasi, you could basically find any sannyasi you wanted to, because they knew each other and stuff. Somebody, this sampradaya, this group and stuff. It was just, so India was a very kind of strange place. And all these things about Sankarshan and the Vedas and everything else, my gosh, it was there. But for someone to come along and say that Nityananda was, is Sankarshan amongst Vasudeva, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, this is, see what I mean? This is pretty, no, it's okay, no problem with this. It's like saying something beyond God. It's like, yeah. Hey, by the way, she's an incarnation of Radharani, like that. Yeah. So anyway, it's a very, very powerful, bold statement, and he's just starting off his book this way. Okay. After that, it'll get even heavier, I guess. So what else is he going to say? He's Sankarshan amongst the Chaturvyu, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. He possesses full opulences and resides in Vaikuntha, far beyond the material creation. Okay, let's try number 9 here and see what we get. Maya Bharata Jandasanga Shrayanga Shete Sakshaccharanam Bodhimadye. Yashyai Kangsa Shri Pumanadi Devas Tam Shri Nityananda Raman Prapadye. Tam Shri Nityananda Raman Prapadye. Tam Shri Nityananda Raman Prapadye. Translation.
I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, whose partial representation, called Karanodakashayi Vishnu, lying on the Karana ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of the illusory energy, and the shelter of all the universes.
It's pretty heavy, isn't it? Yeah. Now, first off, he's Sankarshan amongst the Chaturvyu, and now we're going down, right? Those are in Vaikuntha. And now we're coming to the Purusha avatars, and the first one is Mahavishnu, right? You may realize this. I guess it would correct her. We have a doctor here to correct us. But when we're perspiring, right, out of our body is perspiration coming, right? And so little basically droplets, of perspiration are coming out. Now, for Karanodakashayi Vishnu, each of those is a universe, right? Yeah, it's a pretty potent dude, right? It's like sitting there, like the worst word, like evaporating or something. Evaporating, not evaporating, but something like that. Universes. Also coming out of us, like that, and so on. So anyway, okay. So Nityananda is a partial representation of him. A partial representation of Nityananda is Karanodakashayi Vishnu. Okay. The original Purusha, the master of the illusory energy and the shelter of the universes. Yashanksha Shila Garbodashayi Yanabhyajam Lokasanghata Nalam. Loka shastustu tikadama datus tam Shri Nityananda Raman Prapade. I offer my full obeisances under the feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, a partial part of whom is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu sprouts the lotus that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of multitude of planets. Yashyang sang sah parat matma kilo. Okay, here we go. Yashyang sang sah paramatma kilanam posta vishnur bhati dugdhabdi shai. Kshauni Bharataya Kalasopyanantas Tam Sri Nityananda Ramam Papaje. Abhay. Abhay.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, whose secondary part is the Vishnu lying in the ocean of milk. That Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is the super soul of all living entities and the maintainer of all the universes. Sheshanaga is his further subpart.
Yeah. So then Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, who is the soul of the universe, and then Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, who is the soul of all the matter, or something like that, whatever, each individual soul. And then on Kshirodakshayi Vishnu Loka, I think it is, there's an ocean of milk. There's an island, and that is Sheshanaga. So Sheshanaga is there as acting as the snake and the bed and all this kind of stuff, and the shoes, the umbrella, the hat, everything else. Yeah. And of course, he's not stealing this. Well, that's it. We did it, Mom. We did it. Jai. Yeah. So, and again, these are. I'm trying to prepare for the class. Actually, I have notes here. Somehow or other, we're doing two classes today. Two classes today with a invalid mouth. Yeah. And we're going to go to the dentist. So I go to the dentist at 1 o'clock, right? So I don't know if I'll make it back for the class tonight or not. If I don't, whenever today is a good day to die, right? No. Why not? Okay. So in all these purports, which are very nice, of course, the original Chaitanya Charitamrita was 17 volumes, like that, and it was produced by God-intoxicated, madmen like that. Prabhupada was doing Chaitanya Srimad Bhagavatam with full force, everything else. He was dictating, and people were transcribing, and they were making up at that time, the typesetting, you actually had to print it. A machine would actually print it onto negatives and stuff and so on. And then they would cut it, I think, and so on. So it's a big process. And the BBT in Los Angeles is an incredible process. Then to finance everything else, spiritual sky incense was going with people dipping in incense. It was a gigantic process with Prabhupada there. Lifetime in preparation. And so the Chaitanya Charitamrita, then devotees wanted it, I think Prabhupada had already finished the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and it was his idea. Okay, we got teachings of Lord Chaitanya, we got Nectar of Devotion, Upanishads. He was picking out, very specific texts, to make a solid foundation for everything. And TLC, of course, includes instructions to Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, conversations with Prakashananda, Saraswati, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Ramananda Roy. And even people who are critical of Iskcon and everything else, Bengal, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sannyasis, they say, yeah, that's enough. And if you know those things, it's fantastic. And for one human being to produce that book, and also too, it isn't like, I've read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I don't have to read TLC. No, it's just a different book. It's just like Prabhupada takes it and puts it in a different fashion, and the words go together, and it's just like, it's a fantastic book. I love to distribute it to these intellectual people and stuff, because it's only 500 years old. There's no 17-mile-long witches in it, this kind of stuff, like the Krishna book. And it's digestible. It's like little sections, and it's like historical events and different people and stuff. And so I just really feel very comfortable, they're reading this, and okay, your philosophy, your culture. I have to read it again, or many questions and so on. So the first volume, first canto, the first volume, was about this thick, right? Now they're all that thick, I guess, but originally they were all like the size of like the Bhagavatams. But the first one was really super thick like that, And it's like this, it's very, 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 I won't say dry philosophy, but very, very technical, intellectual, like that. There's not a lot of stories in it, And so reading the whole thing at that time, like, 22-year-old hippies reading this, it was like, so unusual, And but Prabhupada said, oh, this is the real Bengali sweet. This is the real Rasagula. The first one like that. Yeah. Most of us, when we're reading the Krishna book, when we come to prayers by the personified Vedas, we all go, oh God, like prayers by the personified Vedas, 28 pages of dry philosophy. Oh my God, okay. But the acharyas, when they come to it, they go, oh goody, 28 pages of dry philosophy. Oh, that's nice, yeah. So, different people with different approaches. And myself, I'm going through this again and again. We're talking about that this following the festival schedule is a fantastic way, to study different avatars and different activities and stuff. Just every year, memorize something new. On Radharani's birthday, read something. And so for me, it's just like looking at it and trying to put it together and, how much more time do you have to study these things? Oh, I got plenty of years to study Prabhupada's books. Yeah, somebody, my age, and you realize, no, actually, I haven't got that much, So how much are you going to take with you, right? At the time of death, what are you allowed to take with you? Well, one carry-on bag, one blanket. How's it go? Yeah, yes, you can, it's just like the high memory. What was it? The high memory doesn't get erased when something happens. Yeah, you may lose your input-output operating systems. You may lose your applications, but the operating system is intact. Okay, because that's what happens. Yeah, your body goes. Most people when you die, your body is finished, right? In most cases like that. Some people, Ramanuja's body is still there. Did you know that? Yeah, Ramanuja's body, you can go and see Ramanuja's body. You know that? Yeah, you can see his fingernails. Everything else, they keep covering it with ointment and stuff. Yeah, he's mummified, yeah. Yep, okay. But in most cases, the senses are gone, you can't see, smell, so forth. Then your mind, in most cases, your mind, which is a subtle body of ideas and these kind of things, and techniques like grammar, how to organize things grammatically. He said this to her, I did this to them. Yeah, that goes to a large degree too. Yeah. But then your intelligence, your perspective, your attitude, this kind of stuff, buddhi, that can hang around. Yeah, and it depends, of course, what kind of death you have. If you go down to Patalaloka and go through for 23 million lifetimes in Patalaloka as a bacteria running around, and get this kind of purification, that kind of purification, that kind of purification, this kind of purification. You may come out with not a lot of your previous, stuff there. But if you die and just maybe cut through Gandharva Loka and come back again, then you may come out as one of these child prodigies on YouTube. Yeah, you look up child prodigies on YouTube. This is from the time of the one kid he was talking about him, he was incredible. One of these kids, he's in diapers. He's still, can't control his urinating in his pants. He's playing with a full symphony orchestra on a violin, playing his part. Yeah, the lead violin. It's the lead soloist, so lead solo. He's playing the whole thing and stuff like that, And he's kind of doing it like a kid, but, yeah, okay. So this is in the 37th genome and the so-and-so, right? In the DNA, the violin from... You can't, But the thing is, there are many of them when this this ability. It's very interesting looking at all these geniuses and child prodigies and stuff, Carlson, what's his name? We all know basketball players here, we get started, but he's the world champion chess player. Huh? That's a long time ago, man. This guy's ancient. I think he's dead. Sure. Magnus Carlsen. If every single one of us here was playing a chess game, he could beat every single one of us without even, in his mind. He could keep. That's this guy. It's unbelievable. It's like unbelievable mental abilities. So you ask him. He says, how do you do this? You're the Mozart of chess. You're the Mozart of chess. You say that. Yes, he does this stuff. And you ask him, how do you do this? And he said, I don't know. Everybody asks me. I wonder myself. He says, mostly it just comes to me. Right? It just comes to me and stuff. And I develop abilities and stuff. Bobby Fischer, maybe the greatest chess player ever lived, he said, how far do you think ahead, towards victory? He said, no, I think ahead to avoid defeat. I never concerned with winning. I'm always focusing on, things that will be catastrophes and avoiding those and so on. So it's a whole mental world, these people and stuff. And that you take that with you, And what's going to happen as we go on chanting Hare Krishna, what is it there? What is it? Jayananda told us, that Prabhupada said, if you just go on chanting Hare Krishna, you will see pastimes that you never read in any of my books. Jai. Yeah. Again, you tell that story. It was that in Los Angeles, maybe there, devotees were putting on the kidnapping of Rukmini. Were you there at all? It was a Sunday feast drama. Los Angeles is good for dramas, no? They used to put on good dramas. Los Angeles and New York, I think, were the best, It's interesting because in Spanish it is La Rapta de Rukmini, right? La Rapta de Rukmini, which you might translate literally as the rape of Rukmini. Rapta, it's the same word. Rapta de Rukmini, the rape of Rukmini, But in Spanish that would be La violación de Rukmini. Okay, got it there, yeah. The violation of Rukmini, yeah. Because one Prabhupada's purport's very famous. It says that women are fond of men who are expert at rape. Expert. It's very interesting. It looks like, because in the beginning of the 20th century, the word raptors are like hawks, these things, rapture, it means to catch, to take away, like that, and so on. So the controversy is, I see Bhaktivedanta Swami, big misogynist. These people, they get turned off with the Hare Krishnas because they hear all these things and stuff, So that one, I think he says women are fond, basically women are fond of men who are expert at rape. I think it's an indirect pronoun reference, So raptors, they grab on and take away. So the word actually meant, and when Prabhupada's time in 1905, 1907, it meant that, to carry away, right? And so one Mataji, I think it was Los Angeles, she was saying, if you look at the book section in any what do you call it, places, Kroger's or something, they have a section of books you can buy, right? Yeah, cheap. And she says you'll see like about 30% of them are pictures on the front cover of some woman being carried off by a guy on a horse, right? She's being carried off like that. No. This is, the girl's idea that some guy will come and, no? You're waiting for some guy to get you? No? Take you off? Okay. Yeah. But that's it. So I've gotten this point here, rapture, like that. So, what was I talking about? A little test here. We're talking about the psychological atmosphere and spiritual development. So this mental act. If the kidnapping of Rukmini in Los Angeles. Okay, so they're putting the drama on, and I wasn't there, but Kalachan told me he was there and saw the whole thing. He was an actor. And then Rukmini is taken on to Krishna's chariot. And then Prabhupada was watching it and just really responding, and the actors were of course really motivated because Prabhupada was responding, and they planned it for him. And then Prabhupada just stood up and said, and she wasn't a timid girl, she was Kshatriya, she grabbed the reins and started driving the horses, showing him, this is the kind of girl you're getting. I'm a Kshatriya girl, you fight these rascals, like that, let's get out of here. And you can see this, okay, my husband's, I'm going to drive the horses and he's going to take us away and stuff, But that's not in the Krishna book. At all, no? Yeah. Another time, Jayananda told me that they were at the Frederick Street Temple, which is really small. I guess maybe about this section to the altar and over there or something, a small place. And Jagannath was there. What was Jagannath made from in San Francisco? You don't know? Railroad ties. You go out there's they put the things in the railroad things. So Shamasundar had gotten some of those. Wasn't a lot of money then, and he was carving them, and on the roof of his apartment building there in San Francisco, maybe 3-story building. And Prabhupada went there to see them, and he had his cigarettes on top of Lord Balaram's head, like that. So And Prabhupada with his typical, 26,000 volt, laser rifle said, such a small thing to separate you from Krishna. He said it was it. He realized that he wanted to stop smoking, but that was it. It just, again, finished. The whole attachment was gone like that. It's such a small thing. Okay. And then he was testing them, and he was investigating what's happening with the deities. And, how are the deities coming? Because Prabhupada he wanted to have Jagannath and do the worship and stuff, and it's very nice, Jayatirtha told me that Prabhupada said that Jagannath is 80% merciful. 4 out of 5 times he forgives your offenses, your stupidity, the offering's late, this is not right. 4 out of 5 times. The 5th time, Subhadra, her stories, will come after you. Yeah. Somebody will try and drive a car through your front window of your house. Okay. Yes. Okay. Subhadra Mai ki jai. Yeah. Something's happening. So it was a very dangerous movement. So he asked Shyamasundar how the deity's coming. I guess he stopped smoking by then. And he said, Jagannath and Balaram are finished, but Subhadra I'm still working on Subhadra. And Prabhupada said, that is all right. Ladies are always late. Okay, so anyway, misogynist. So they're installed there in San Francisco, and they had them like the base was like this here. The deities were above that. They're like this big. I was a pujari for many years. They're very nice. First Jagannath deities, about this big. Okay, yeah, and up there. And then they asked Prabhupada, can we dress them? Should we dress them? And he said, Jagannath's already dressed, because his clothes is painted on, And so it's quite nice, not to dress them. But okay, you can dress them also. And then what they did, I mentioned all this before. They had Christmas tree lights, like the ones on strings. And they go, red, yellow, green, blue, red, yellow, like that. They blink different colors and stuff, This is right in the middle of the whole psychedelic, hippie thing with tune in, turn on, drop out program. So many of the hippies would come in on LSD or psilocybin or something, and they would just sit there in front of the Jagannath deities, like in Balaram, just sitting there like, with the colors changing like that, Because when the yellow comes on, Subhadra brightens up. When the red comes on, something else comes up. So it was like you're sitting there watching them like going, So anyway, they were attracting people, give them prasadam. This is a special drug we have here. Take it. It's got something special in it. Don't tell anybody. Okay, yeah. So anyway, Jayananda told me that somebody asked Prabhupada, he said, what does Lord Jagannath look like when you become purified, advanced in spiritual life? And he said, Prabhupada turned to Jagannath, just like I'm turning to Jaya Haridas. I'm saying he's wearing a maroon hoodie with a zipper down the front, saffron dhoti. He has his cell phone resting on his knee. He's got a black field pack. Okay, yeah. And his nose is kind of sharpish. He got his haircut. Yeah. So same way, Prabhupada turned to Jagannath and said, oh, you will see a prince surrounded by elephants and generals and the Kurukshetra and princesses. And it wasn't like he was just looking and describing what he was seeing. Nobody else was seeing that. Yeah. So what do you look at when you see Nilamadava? Do you see Vrindavan? Yeah. So this is a sublime movement. It takes people from being, eating beer and hot dogs, whatever, all the way up to Goloka Vrindavan in one snap. It's sublime. It goes from the most gross state to the most subtle state, But many times we have a really heavy kirtan. You go to the temple, the Hare Krishnas. This is interesting. And you have some really unusual experiences. I interviewed like 24 devotees one time, how they came to Iskcon, Hare Krishna movement. In 21 cases, there was something mystical involved. They had something. Myself, I went to the temple for the first time. God, it was just like, and so many times it was the temple. When they came into the temple room, it was just like, unusual experience. Krishna was letting it loose. You know, so this experiences. We're going from here, to Goloka. So every now and again we may get, the association, the intensity of Krishna's mercy, but then we kind of go down for a while, then something else. Bija, right? Seeds. But we don't forget it. That's the idea. You may have more than one going, cultivating and remembering that and stuff. Yeah, I got to go to the Sunday Hare Krishna temple. Yeah, I got to help wash the pots. Yeah. And so then he's, it's up and down. Shishi Nilamadhava ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. They look like they're coming. This outfit is just incredible. Like stars, it's really incredible. So, different Narada Muni, right? The same thing, right? He had this experience, but then Vishnu told him, you're not ready to maintain it, but here, it's like, give you a taste, so you know where you're going, and you got some perspective like that. So as we're advancing in spiritual life, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, by the mercy of the Advaita Acharya, by the mercy of Nityananda, then we should expect, in the morning time, how many people are pure devotees every morning, but by the evening you start eating too much and everything? Yeah, because it's if you look in the Wikipedia for muhurtas, it gives all the names, and then it says auspicious, inauspicious, very inauspicious. One is called howler, the howler morhita, and it's like, it's like, just hide under your bed, lock the doors, everything else at this time, don't go out. Yeah. Then it comes around and auspicious. Every single one after midnight until sunrise is auspicious. Then I think about the second one after sunrise or something is inauspicious. So it's kind of like a little dip in the morning. Then it kind of messes up and stuff. You experience that. It's like by 10 o'clock or something weird or something, some time getting out there and getting going, And then, of course, Brahma Muhurta, they all have names. But Brahma means expansive without limit, the greatest, everything else. So 96 minutes until 48 minutes before dawn is Brahma Muhurta. And it's on your calendar, and hey, that's chanting Hare Krishna, everything else. The gates are open up. You got 65 times credit for every single round you do, yeah. Then the one after that, before dawn, is, I think it's Samudra Muhurta, also auspicious. So you start getting up and just you see certain times in the day. Okay, then I make permanent progress. The modes come again. Yeah, okay, it's what's happening. I'm in the mode of passion now. I'm just thinking about plans and all this kind of stuff. Now the evening's coming and I just want to, space out and, do something. Yeah. So, and then festivals, different times, different moments, different opportunities. There's really, again, some opportunity for great Sankirtan preaching, everything else, and it's just Krishna's arranging something. And so we should expect high points, but we should, but we should also expect, right? Like that, that we're generally speaking, we're going up, like that. Or else, it may be like this, is every now and again, like that, yeah. This is why Varna Ashram Dharma, right? Bhakti Yoga is the tightrope in the circus. How many people here know the Walendas? The Walendas. Nobody knows it. Okay, your life is 40% wasted. Yeah. The Walendas are a family of tightrope walkers. You can look them up on the Wikipedia again too. For many generations, I don't know, they go back to gypsies or something. So if you're born into a Walenda family, your first step is not on the ground, it's on a tightrope. Maybe this high off the ground, and the mother, okay, she puts the kids there and kind of balances them and kind of lets them go or something, and so they have to and so before they never start walking on the ground, they start walking on little tightropes, yeah. And also they learn too, you got to have certain things in terms of ethical and moral habits and what you do and how you live. You can't be drinking all the time or whatever, lascivious activities. No, they only do it. They perform on a tightrope as high as this building, more higher than this, 50 feet. It's 50 feet? No. Okay, so let's push 50 up there. Maybe that's 30 probably, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Let's add another 2 stories. Okay. That's what they perform on with no net. Yeah. Yeah. This is why people come to watch them and pay a lot of money. They were in whatever it is in Houston, the Dome, the Superdome, the something Dome. They were going to be performing there, a big show. It was a big circus, and they were one of the leaders. So I showed them recording this. Somebody's recording a camcorder. Then, Grandfather Walinda, who walks with a cane because he fell. Yeah. I mean, some of them are dead. They didn't make it. Yeah. So anyway, up there is Bobby and Jerry, and they're on bicycles with no inner tubes on the tightrope, right? Going back and forth. That's bad enough. Then on top of them is a bar going across like this on their head, balanced on their heads. Then on top of that is Susie, who's like I think 11 years old, who was on a motorcycle, going back and forth, and then she goes up on her head. I mean, this is real, okay, head, okay. So they're going back and forth, just practicing away and stuff like that, and Grandfather Walinda is saying, well, do this, go there, that's too, don't do that, it's too much. And then somebody turned off the lights. It's all recorded. Yeah. And then Grandfather Walinda says, okay, everybody. He says, turn on the lights. And he's like, Bobby, you okay? Yes, Grandpa. He said, Jerry, you okay? Yes, Grandpa. Susie, you okay? Yes, Grandpa. That was it was 45 seconds. 45 seconds, and the guy's saying, turn on the lights. And finally the lights came on, and probably they all came down and got big sticks. And we're looking for who would turn the lights off. Yeah. That's what it's going to take to go back home, back to Godhead. Yes. But for them, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe all we have to do is just, walk across the tightrope with the bar, But yeah, it's like razor's edge, everything else, yeah. But if you deviate, which, how many people here have deviated? In terms of eating too much or sleeping too much or, looking at Donald Duck cartoons or football things or ladies' fashion magazines, I don't know, Yeah. Yeah, then you slip, you fall. But what do you fall into? We have a net. What is the net? Varna, ashram, dharma. Yeah. Yes. But Varna ashram. So we do. That's why we follow Varna ashram. One of the reasons because, if I decide that's just too much, forget it. I'm not going to do this anymore. Then I walk down the street, and go into a liquor store, right? Like this, right? The guy say, hey, give me a bottle of whatever it is, Cutty Shark, Johnny Law. Even the guy behind the counter is going to look at me and say, fella, are you sure you want this fellow? It's like, are you sure? Yeah, even anybody figures out, Yeah. Husband and wife, okay, you get married, right? Okay. And you go to some program and you're joking with some Mataji, you look over and your wife's looking at you. Like that. My God, it's like, when we get home, it's like, so you protect each other, and simultaneously, husband protecting the wife. This is this very natural situation. So Varna ashram is there as a net, and then you can bounce a few times and get back up and go ahead, So we're trying to advance in spiritual life. It actually has a logical conclusion to what I'm doing here. Yeah. And so all these things he's describing in the beginning, this is Lord Nityananda, how are we going to describe everything? Lord Nityananda is Balaram. Balaram is the first expansion, Prakash, not an incarnation, Prakash, expansion of Krishna, for the purpose of service. And Lord Balaram, Balaram's whole attitude is, I am a servant of Lord, or I am a servant of Krishna, I am a servant of Krishna, I am a servant of Krishna. And Krishna wants that position too, but he can't take it because he has to be God, okay. So Lord Balaram serves everybody. He serves Krishna, he serves the Brisbasis, he's the supreme service, supreme personality of God, supreme personality of Godhead servitor. Yeah. And then he expands himself as what's next? Vasudev or Sankarshan or something in the Vaikuntha planets. And they reside there in each one like that. Then there's a second expansion of those into the material atmosphere. Okay. And Vasudeva, as I'm got it, working it out now here, need a programmer here, you know. Vasudeva remains Vasudeva, but Sankarshan becomes Mahavishnu, Pradyumna becomes Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Aniruddha becomes Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Vasudeva is consciousness, Sankarshan is false ego, yeah. Pradyumna is intelligence, and Aniruddha is the mind. The sun is an incarnation of Aniruddha. Okay, Aniruddha is the predominating deity of the mind. Therefore, it is impossible to keep good mental health without sufficient sunlight. Yeah, you notice that? Yeah, highest suicide rates in the world in Seattle, places like this, because it's just in Seattle, maybe, I don't know, full sunlight, maybe 20 days a year. Huh? Exactly. You know, so much you have to drink alcohol. I mean, I went to Russia and stuff, believe me, it's just, you know, it doesn't affect you. I mean, I didn't try it, but people told me it's so cold. You just have to drink this stuff to keep the heat, you know, and stuff and so on. So it's just like, you know, when you're dealing with Russians and they want a certain amount of land and this kind of stuff, you got to realize these guys, okay, fella, it's okay, take it here, calm down, you know, we'll bring you a smoothie. You know? Yeah. Anyway, going to be emperor of the world, you got to know what people are like and engage everybody properly, you know. So this is what's happening to us. In the beginning, we're chanting Hare Krishna, we get some special mercy, and something happens, and you know, okay, we was going on, but then in between, we start like figuring out, okay, I go to the Hare Krishna temple, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, it's incredible. As the deities were looking at me, this was happening. Then I go back and drink Budweiser beer and eat hot dogs, you know, like that. But then it falls apart. And how many people, when you're associating with the devotees, started asking about a regular process? You're coming to the temple or visiting devotees, associating, and you start asking people, is there a process or that kind of thing? Yeah, yes, yeah. This is Adoshraddha, Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya. What Kriya means? Activity, work. Yeah, it means like you take it up as a job, profession. Yeah, you got to chant the rounds. You got to get up in the morning. You got to do this and that, and yeah, it works. You know. Then you start changing your habits and just, you know, so, you know, you're going up and down and stuff, you know. You give up tofu, no? Tofu. Anybody here has renounced tofu? Like that. Chocolate. How many people here have renounced chocolate? He's renounced chocolate. Okay, like that. Yeah. A little bit, sometimes. What if you're caught in transit for 8 hours in the airport in Hong Kong and there's nothing but M&M's, peanuts, and milk to eat, and you lose your flight and you got to stay overnight for 24 hours. I won't do it. I did it. I was here at the airport for 36 hours with nothing to eat, so I started. And there was nothing. Okay, I did it. I'm sorry. M&M's, peanuts with milk, and I liked it. But it's chocolate. Chocolate contains theobromides, which pigs eat to become sexually agitated. You know, Hansaduta said they mix it with dirt, you know, like that stuff. And all your little boys, it's just continuous child slave labor, and they go back. The United Nations goes after it again and again. They keep coming back again, and finally little kids are making this stuff. And also, it's a grain, so you're eating grains cooked by karmis, you know. Okay, like that. Yeah. Something else, carob, you know. So. You know, Bhakti Yoga is the path of progressive rules and regulations. You know, maybe you make a certain thing. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you just keep going up and so on. You know? So yeah, then naturally you start to live in celestial world. I mean, how many places in the world can you find a community like this, which has this level of relationships between men and women, cleanliness, regulated life, and so on? You're not going to find many communities like that. You know, Micron, do they? No. I mean, that's the whole office. That's the word. Office romances. We use a word here like that. Office romances. There should be a whole sociological study on it, how much that's involved in the whole structure and everything else, meeting people and so on and so on. You know. I guess it's meet people. Maybe because the software industry, you have more Indians running around who are maybe keeping it a little bit together and so on. But it's just, it's just a celestial community, right? You're with the gods and goddesses here. Everybody else is just, cool. Okay, so that you're on that level now, and you can start to understand how the prana is moving in your body, and you can do things. When I had this tooth pulled, and then it was okay, no problem, and then the anesthetic wore off. yeah, it was a big deal. It was like. I mean, literally, it was pain would shoot up here, and my sinus would open up. Okay. Then I started hemorrhaging blood from my mouth and my nose both. It was like I had coming in there like that. Yeah, breathing in. Upstairs in the sannyasi ashram, then I discovered that if I would just chant Hare Krishna and just throw my body around and dance and stuff for Krishna, that about, what was it about? I guess it was maybe about. Let's talk it out here. Somewhere like 40% of my consciousness would pull back, to the what was going on in my body, and 60% could stay in the kirtan world like that and stuff, But I would just dodging stuff like that, making around, calling Srinivas like that. Where's the Tylenol? Where's the Tylenol? I'm on the way. So they rushed us back to the dentist. He said, bring him back. So he put me in there. He had to drive 30 minutes for a especially powerful coagulant. I told him before we started I was mildly hemophilic, And he said something like, yeah, this is like maybe 15% of the people are like this. It's not all that, it's unusual, but we see it. And it stopped up and stuff, But even still, because it's healing, then it's like, pulling this way and that way and stuff, so it's interesting. But you can see that, you can control the prana now. Yeah, I can do that. You understand why your stomach can't wake up. Somebody else is walking around like this, and you can pull it up, wake up, yeah. So you begin to understand the Vayu gods, and above, we're visual, and above that is air, prana, and above that is earth, water, air, space, fire, space, sound. And so then, for me, it's very difficult to live in a place where there's no sound. You go someplace in the market or something like that, it's just like, it's dead. You can't breathe, stuff, So many places in the subways and everything else, if they would just start playing music, something there, it would change the whole atmosphere. Everybody's sitting there like that, and people are robbing people with this. It's just like some cheerful music going. Say, hey, I need some money for drugs. Could you give me a hand here? Like, that, please. I'm really sorry to bother you, but oh, okay, here's something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it does. It just because for good sound, automatically your prana follows it. If you want to dance that way, if it's heavy metal, okay, And then after that, then you start to see things, You can see things because they have a texture, and they have a form like that and so on. So as we go on, chanting and following the process, this is my realization, then we're going to come to this point where we're going to come to the Paramatma, and we're going to realize that everywhere is the hand of God, whatever you want to call it, and then we're going to start realizing that the deity's paraphernalia is not normal, it's sesha, it's all an expansion of sesha, Again, like prasadam, there's people, you have all these dirty things going in the trash, and you blow your nose on something and toss it in the trash. And you take the extra deity prasadam and just dump it in the trash, like that along with it. It's just like, yeah. So you begin to realize the paraphernalia, prasadam, the garlands, everything else. You just realize that these are not, material. So we're realizing sesha. We're realizing Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Then beyond that is, what's the next one? Garbhodakshai Vishnu. I'm kind of not working on that yet. But that's when you realize that the whole universe is alive and there's a soul which is running the whole thing. Right? How long does it take to replace the President of the United States of America? How long did it take to replace John F. Kennedy? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, well, I think probably you could count it in hours. Yeah, right? Yeah. First off, he was shot. They took him to the hospital, his body, And Jacqueline Kennedy was there along with his shot. The room was full of like FBI, CIA, Army, Navy. The doctor was drug into this whole place, and he said, I can't do an autopsy like this. And the FBI looking, okay, so he's squeezing nurse. And then she handed him part of his brains. She just took there. Yeah, it was, finally. And then one of the guys was trying to revive him, and it's the FBI or something, and the guy finally just had to hold on to him and say, it's over, and stuff. Very intense, And so finally he pronounced him dead. Okay, that's got to be done. It's got to be pronounced dead by a surgeon. And then Jacqueline Kennedy, he'd taken his clothes off mostly, she kissed his ankles, his thighs, his chest, and his lips, and walked out. It's like all these generals, these big, powerful guys, military guys, are seeing this. Wow, it's like a wife, final anointment from the wife. So anyway, then he's dead. And then they sealed all the air bases. Maybe the Russians are attacking. Maybe it's the whole program, the whole United States. SAC, Strategic Air Command, the dome. 24 hours a day during the Cold War. I think there were something like 35 B-52s in orbit that any moment they could be called, and then they would attack Russia. And every single one of them could destroy, It was like, it was just mutually assured destruction, So the second this happened, they all went on to, and the Russians said they all noticed their long-distance radar showing up with blips that weren't supposed to be there. What's happened? And then the news came that somebody had shot Kennedy, and they're sitting there. We didn't do it. It's not us. We didn't do it. Like that. And it was a whole deal, And then after that, what happened? Then Johnson was made president. It was Earl Warren. He was the chief of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. He swore him in. Now you're the president of the United States of America. So that is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is the guy, who makes the whole show work, right? He's the soul of the universe. And the prison guards are Kshirodakshayi Vishnu running around watching everything. But it's a realization, Are we in this room? You become purified, you begin to realize it's connected, right? So anyway, this is Lord Nityananda. Nityananda is the source of Shankarshan, the second Sankarshans, all these things. But maybe tonight we'll hear how he also is. That's a very minor part of his opulence, right? The greatest part of his opulence is his ability to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. And that's okay, So Prabhupada ki jai, Jehovah ki jai, Hallelujah, Allahu Akbar.